And we begin tonight continuing to track the impact of President Donald Trump's immigration and border policies, getting a first look at how Mexico is reacting on their side of the southern border. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Caribe Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. Among a long list of executive actions, the president declared a national emergency at the southern border, effectively shutting down the system for migrants to seek asylum.
12 News journalist Bianca Bono reports from Nogales tonight and crossed the border into Sonora to get a first-hand look at how Mexico is preparing for possible mass deportations.
One day after President Donald Trump was sworn in as president, the border community of Nogales, Arizona is quiet. Before Monday, every day, around 100 migrants seeking asylum would come through this port of entry after getting an appointment through the CBP One app. That service has been shut down. This is an example of an immediate impact seen here in Nogales. This right here is an organization called SAMU First Response. It's a humanitarian organization. We're told they would assist around 100 migrants per day. In fact, the main port of entry here in Nogales is just 2 blocks this way. As you can see today, it is a complete ghost town.
The asylum process in the United States is now closed.
Celia Bevere is the executive director at Border Community Alliance. She says shelters on the Mexico side of the border are now preparing for an influx of people who had appointments canceled or who move forward with their trip to the border despite the change in policy.
It puts nonprofits on the Mexico side in a bind because they now are going to have many more people that are going to be having to stay at the shelters to provide food, to maybe give them bus tickets to go back to where they're from.
President Trump has also declared a national emergency at the southern border and plans for mass deportations. On Tuesday afternoon, we ventured south of the border to see how Mexico is preparing for that. After walking across the border, we are now in Nogales, Sonora, Mexico, and we're standing in the parking lot of a sporting complex here because this is one of the properties that could potentially be turned into a migrant shelter if and when there are mass deportations in the U.S. This is part of the president of Mexico's plan to open shelters just like this all across the country.
There is this program called Mexico Embraces You.
Marcos Moreno Baez, the Consul General of Mexico in Nogales, Arizona, elaborates on Mexico's plan called Mexico Embraces You. Teams on the ground, including Mexico's National Guard, are preparing to assist those who may be deported with support services. Organizers on site tell 12 News this sporting complex in Nogales will be equipped to assist around 2,800 people.
That's going to be the way Mexico will continue to operate in a humanitarian way.
As new policies and changes continue to roll out, communities both north and south of Arizona's border with Mexico are working to process and prepare for what's next. In Nogales, Arizona and Sonora, Mexico, Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thank you. And meanwhile, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays is joining other states in suing the Trump administration over his executive order that aims to end birthright citizenship. It has generally been accepted by legal scholars that the 14th Amendment guarantees the right to citizenship to anyone born in the U.S. except for children of diplomats. Mays warned today that ending birthright citizenship would result in chaos and is joining other Democratic attorneys general in taking the issue to court. However, advocates for the President Trump administration's executive order tell 12 News that it was written specifically to provoke a court challenge that would clarify the intent of the 14th Amendment.
The Arizona man, known as the QAnon shaman, was among the January 6 defendants who received a pardon yesterday. Jacob Chansley, who became the de facto face of the riot, pleaded guilty to 1 count of felony obstruction of an official proceeding and was already on supervised release. He also won a legal fight to receive items seized from him after the insurrection. After the president announced the sweeping pardons, Chansley took to social media last night saying, "Thank you, President Trump. Now I am going to buy some mother expletive guns." Chansley was one of at least 10 people with Arizona ties who faced charges tied to J6.
Meanwhile, just into our newsroom, the White House is directing that all federal diversity, equity, and inclusion staff be put on paid leave. That is according to a new memo from the Office of Personnel Management, which also directs agencies to develop plans to lay those workers off. The memo follows an executive order signed by President Trump yesterday, ordering a sweeping dismantling of the federal government's DEI programs. The memo calls for agencies to put those workers on leave by 5 p.m. tomorrow and take down all public-facing DEI-focused websites.
Well, have you been outside tonight? It is really getting chilly. Temperatures dropping. This is a weather impact alert night with the coldest temperatures of the year headed our way overnight. Meteorologist Chris Dunn is here with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, Mark, we had the coldest day of the winter so far today. The high in Phoenix was only 61. Tonight, we will see a steady decline in those temperatures, getting into the 30s by 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's really this time zone right in here, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., which is going to be the critical time zone where we will see the coldest of the cold overnight tonight. Now, we do have some high clouds streaming in from the west, and that could help us out just a little bit, especially areas just south of the valley. But all of this purple shaded area, this is where we have our freeze warning in effect. It goes through tomorrow morning with those temperatures down below or right at freezing. 32 in Levine, 26 Maricopa. Some of those outlying areas typically a little bit colder. You will be colder. 28 in Sun Lakes, 29 Mesa, Chandler, Apache Junction at 34, and 33 in Scottsdale. So up until 9 a.m. tomorrow, that's when we have our freeze warning in effect. 25 to 32 degrees for your temperatures. What you need to do is protect the people, pets, plants, and pipes. Talk about our chance for rain showing up at the 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Chris, thanks. New at 10. New allegations surrounding an Arizona truck driver who was arrested after authorities say he kidnapped a 12-year-old girl and sexually abused her. Tonight, more alleged victims are coming forward. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly spoke exclusively with a family in Missouri who say their 2 kids were also taken by this same suspect. Chase?
Mark, those kids just 16 and 17 years old. Their mother, Rita Weber, reached out after seeing our last story on suspect Liam Wallace and the federal charges he's now facing.
27-year-old truck driver Liam Wallace is currently behind bars for allegedly kidnapping a 12-year-old girl in Phoenix. Court records claim Wallace drove her hundreds of miles north, where police found them in Utah. Wallace was arrested and is now facing charges related to sex trafficking a minor. These documents also claim Wallace first started talking with the 12-year-old through this teen chat website. The same site Rita Weber's 16-year-old daughter, Susanna, was also on when she claims to have first talked with Wallace.
I'm glad that he got arrested. I'm glad he's off the street.
Weber and her family live 1,200 miles away in St. Joseph, Missouri. She says around Thanksgiving, her daughter and 17-year-old son went missing. Weber asking her kids' friends if they knew anything.
I said, well, they went with this guy. I'm like, who? And they said, Liam Wallace. And they've been talking to him online.
Weber immediately called 911, worried.
First thing I was thinking is he's, sex trafficking.
Susanna's friends talking with her through Snapchat, asking her and her brother to come back, when Susanna wrote that she can't and there's no turning back. That is, until they got to their destination.
He was taking them down to Arizona.
Wallace had taken both teens to his apartment in Phoenix, Weber claims, saying Wallace then made advances toward her daughter.
So he tried to bring her inside the bedroom when they were at the apartment, and my daughter refused.
Giving her friends the exact address to the apartment.
She said that she didn't want to be there anymore.
Phoenix police confirmed that on November 26th, they conducted a welfare check where they found 2 teens from Missouri. Both were placed in DCS custody. Weber then took the 20-hour drive to pick them up. However, police said there were no suspects arrested in this case. Weber wants to know why, believing more victims could be out there.
This ain't the first time he took a child, and if they let him out, he's just going to do it again.
I requested the incident report on this case from Phoenix police to learn why no arrests were made. In the meantime, Wallace's federal case is still moving forward. We're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. All right, take a look at this shocking video. A Ring doorbell camera captures the moment that a truck crashed into 2 parked cars in a surprise neighborhood near Litchfield and Waddell Roads last night. Luckily, no one was injured, but the driver took off, and police are still searching for them tonight. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra spoke with the homeowners and show us all the damage.
It kind of made me sick to my stomach.
16-year-old Aiden Marlette's car was wrecked in a matter of seconds, and he heard it all happen from his bedroom window.
As I was about to fall asleep, I hear a bunch of tires squealing against the road, and then next thing I hear is just a loud bang.
By the time Aiden realized what happened, the blue Dodge Ram pickup truck was already driving away, but a surveillance camera caught the entire crash on video.
He full throttles it straight into my car while turning, and then continues to drive my car all the way up to the driveway and then completely off of it, while also hitting my mom's car in the meanwhile.
His mom's car has some rear-end damage, but Aiden's 2012 Honda Civic suffered the worst of it.
Basically just a whole back of my car rattling, which definitely is not safe to drive.
It sucks to be held responsible for something we didn't do.
Kim Marlette shared the crash video and surprised community groups on social media asking for help finding the driver who did this.
Surprise has literally stepped up for us. The people that have found this vehicle around town all day long messaging me has been amazing.
Surprise police haven't made any arrests in the case, but tell me they are investigating the incident as a hit and run.
No one, prepares you for stuff like this in life, obviously. So we'll contact our insurance and start finishing claims and see if Surprise Police Department does what they're supposed to do.
The Marlettes are hoping a neighbor captured more video evidence.
And I'm gonna see if hopefully someone's camera caught his license plate, because unfortunately ours did not.
But in the meantime, this new driver is left without a car that he and his parents saved up for.
All that hard work is just gone now.
In Surprise, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you.